Technically, the railroad doesn't go anywhere yet. As you can see, this is all I've got for my network currently. What I need to do is run it up through here so I can get up to this logging camp eventually here. So the goal is to go up through this little valley here. I think that looked very cool. So I am playing without fuel consumption right now, just because I don't have another way to get wood. Back in the day when I first started playing this, these wood facilities would actually drop off wood, like when they spawned in. They'd just be fully loaded. They don't these days, so as as we continue the line out to the wood area, I will show you. Just got just gotta go. We'll get there eventually. I know this looks like it's probably not the best way to be driving this little train thing. That's the way to make myself go out farther. There we go. As you see this little line back here, I think you can see my mouse. That is where we're going to have a line connected up to the wood collection stuff. So eventually, well, this is going to get really close to the end of the line here. A lot faster than I thought we would, but it's fine. I'll set that kind of chill. As you can see, because yeah, I don't mind. It'll just hit the buffers at the end. This is all just the main area, like the main hub. This is where stuff gets taken from, along. This line here is probably going to be like just a non-good line, so like a passenger line maybe or something. I'm not completely sure. Something you can do if you're like me and you want to like make it so that your curves are easy for your trains to do at basically any size, is you'll take one of these signal switches, whichever way you need it to go, and you'll connect the signal switch direction you want to your line. Then you can just go through and break it when you have another bit of track at the end of your line, and you can just sort of connect up your train tracks to these signal switches, because switches have a very wide turn radius anyway. So no matter what, every type of train that I've gotten to play with so far anyway, and every type of car, again, that I've gotten to play with so far anyway, is always going to connect up to the rest of your track really easily, and it's going to look pretty decent, and it's going to be really easy for trains to come and take this turn. So if you ever need little ways to build cool little pathways, again, all you got to do takes your switch in whatever direction you need to go. Technically, it's in the opposite direction of what you need to go. So, like, oh, I want to go to the right, so I'll take my left switch. I'm going left. No, I'm going right. Well, from how I'm doing it anyway, you'll go ahead and just kind of put your little corner pieces on so that they all line up like this. And then if you want to get really, really technical about it, just put a bumper at the end, because then you can just kind of, as you're braking and destroying your tracks, go through and attach these to here. Why are these all trains? Where are my actual cars? I don't know how this works. They changed everything. There we go. This one always reminds me of like season 1 Thomas and Friends. The troublesome trucks. It just needs little eyes put on the front, and you got it. I don't recommend putting like numbers on your cars. On your trains, it makes sense too, but your cars are going to be broken up quite a bit. So just in the way that the cars look, it's going to look really weird. But if you like, you can always just like choose a paint job. Quantity of them. We can always give them names. So like maybe your railway is like a bunch of different railways all shoved together, like they share cars amongst each other. You can just sort of be like, oh, this is the lugging code. The lugging. It's the lugging line cars, that sort of thing. Everybody, welcome back. As you can see, I've actually got a longer line of cars. Now, you might be wondering why, and the answer is these are just infinitely better than what I was running before, which was these two little ones. The game has mostly fixed it, but loading up these two little cars is really annoying. So I just use long cars. Granted, this tiny little train here isn't really designed to be hauling these, so it does struggle a bit. But that being said, I think it's just time that we go ahead and we do a full run. I can show you guys the line. I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure regulator open full means it's full strength, but reverser below 100 means it's more designed for pulling power. Um, Whereas if it's at 100, it's designed for speed. Maybe? I don't quite remember. It might be the other way around. I'd have to relook that up. But basically, it's very, very easy, very, very possible for this little train to be pulled. I've done so twice now. I will show you. As you can see, I've made some money and gotten some experience. I just wanted to make sure there was nothing on the line, because that would suck. At some point, I want to go ahead and make it so that this can be connected back up right through there. So, like, it's like a little, I don't remember what those are called, but basically, sometimes when you have goods trains, your goods train needs to get off the main line so another bigger, faster train can come through. And they have little, like, basically, break areas where your train will just kind of stop occasionally. But yeah. Up here is the logging camp. As you can see, I have more track up this way. That leads up to the sawmill. Is if you're wondering how I do that, it's not too hard to replicate this. At least on PC, I have no idea. I've never played the Xbox version. But on the PC, if you're holding crouch and forward and then you hit jump, you just sort of float, and I do not know why. Okay, so now we get to the part that the engine likes to struggle with, which is unfortunately, well, A, running in reverse. This thing doesn't really like doing that to begin with. But B, shoving a couple 100 pounds of stuff. I mean, each flat car is already like 100 pounds a piece, I think, if I understand what I'm reading correctly from the purchasing menu. I turned on my bell. Okay, that's fine. We won't have to hear it for a little bit. As you can see, if you go to here, these are unloaded, I think, if I understand correctly, 8,000 pounds, which is, still lowballing. It's actually like 8,400. But and if you look at this with the freight, yeah, we're shoving 26 27,000 pounds on each car. And there's 6 of them, which is a lot of weight for this tiny little porter to be doing. They don't really like shoving the unloaded cars, let alone the loaded cars. The one good part about this is once it actually starts going, it goes pretty good. It doesn't really mind once it's moving. It just takes that little bit of power and effort to actually get started. Which I think is them trying to replicate, like, wheel slip. Because trains do experience some wheel slip if you just go straight to full power. You're supposed to slowly open the regulator to help reduce wheel slip, but, I don't usually, or at least I'm pretty sure. I've watched some stuff on, like, steam trains, but not a whole lot. I do like them, though. They're very fun. And this game it's actually quite enjoyable if you're just looking for a chill, relaxed time. Like I said, the whole point is literally just to get, make tracks that go to places, to buy more track stuff. It's kind of fun. Also, I think I figured out what I'm going to do to go from over there to over there, because there's, like, a slope that I can go up. So I'm wondering if it wouldn't be prudent just to use the slope. Why am I shaking? Is that just... I just hit a weird part of the switch, or is my train going to fall over? If my train falls over, I may actually be a little mad. I haven't saved in a little bit, so... yeah. But yeah, no, like I said, this is kind of what the game is. It's just running stuff back and forth, building up tracks to go to places. Obviously, you can build a lot tighter turns and stuff in tracks than what I do. I mean, I don't know how to is my thing, so I just use my switches to build my corners. Because it means that I'm not going to, like, lose my goods. Um, at one point in time, I played a different map called Pine Valley, and I tried to build some stuff out there where I didn't know what I was doing. Like, it's just a matter of me just not being very good. But, I mean, it happens. As you can see here, though, we're doing pretty good. I'm actually rather impressed. I'm always afraid that these logs are going to try to fall off, because there's nothing really holding them there apart from, well, gravity. Because that's all that holds the logs in place. Which, like, there should be something else, like ropes. I know they're not going to do much. They would just be for looks, but still. Yeah. So, I mean, this is the majority of the game. I am going to lower my regulator here, though. Because we're going to start going downhill. I want to be able to use my brakes to stop once we get up to the station up there. Ah, that yard is super gross looking right now. I'm just going to shut off power because we're gaining speed because we're going downhill with a lot of weight. This is at a 2% incline. This, like, little bridge section. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, no, as you can see, right there. Lovely. We can turn on our brakes here eventually. I'm actually just going to start up with, like, a 5% on the brakes, just to slow us. It might not, actually. The Porter has really, really bad brakes. 65 seems to be working okay. So, the Porter, the funny thing about this little engine is that it's super lightweight. As you can see, like, this is the majority of the metal on it. I mean, boilers are heavy and stuff, but these things are designed to be, like, lightweight shunting engines, basically. Or hauling super tiny cars like those two over there. Alright, so we're back. I managed to finish up that line and the switching yard. We're fully stocked. I mean, obviously, you would account the rest that time of having to get your cars all shunted and put it behind for your train to pull and whatnot. Usually, in the time it would take to complete this run fully, and then usually these are already preloaded. So we'll just say that they had them preloaded on this line. I just grabbed them and now I'm running them. If you're wondering why everything looks the way it does over here, where we've got a weird, like, how these connect up really weird, the answer is because I need them to. That does mean that thing that I said earlier about, like, oh yeah, it's fine, you got a way to, like, switch off. Technically, I can make one still. But for now, I'm just focusing on doing this. Yeah, we'll, let this be just a huge old part of the line. I think Reverser 100 means that I have max pulling power. I think. Because at about 56 or 40-ish, in between that range, with the regulator fully open, I go a lot faster. So pulling power must be reverser clocked up all the way. But yeah, now you guys get to see this lovely old part of the trip. I'm hoping it'll be a fast one. Obviously, I got some more trees to clear away from the line because everything's really close currently. I do mean the taller trees, not the little bushes. The bushes are fine. It's just that the trees make it so that it's really hard to, like, keep an eye on the train. As you can see, though, some of this line's a little jank. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. Just some of the parts where it's connected up feel very weird. Everything still rolls over it, but they feel like they're turned strangely. Like they didn't go straight, and I don't know what happened. Anyway, we're just gonna keep pushing her, see how she does. Hmm. Really hope that didn't do anything to you guys. Whoops. So yeah, no, we're just kind of gonna keep chugging along. As you can see, obviously there's some space to, like, I could put a house up here. That'd look kind of cool. I could do a couple things. But for now, my main goal is just to get the main line done up. Well, that's not even the branch line for the main line. As you can see, we're doing pretty good. We're just hauling logs. I really don't know how long this is gonna take. I, it took a while to go in reverse at full speed, so it's probably gonna take longer. I think that was like 2 or 3 minutes. I'm already at like the 4 minute marker, so it's definitely gonna take at least 4. Granted, I did start kind of late on the moving, but yeah. Oh, if you guys are wondering how I'm doing that, because you guys can't see it, behind me... Can I move myself? Maybe I can. Hold on, I'll figure it out. That's not a good sign. Why did I jump? Was that just the game being a little funky back there? I don't know. But there's a whistle icon. Hold on, I can hide myself real quick. See? Whistle icon. That's how I move myself. Also, yeah, you get to see behind the behind the details of how I actually work. I am 2 separate layers, and I love it. So technically, if I wanted to, I could just boop, bop, bye, 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 I'm gone. Ooh, I don't exist. Woo! I'm back. I exist. Also, yeah, that does mean that technically there's more to my sprite than you guys are seeing, which is fun. I should give myself a little conductor's hat for these episodes. I think that'd be kind of funny. Also, I don't shake quite as badly as I used to. I turned that down because I was, well, while I was editing, I kept looking over at myself and it would make me ill. To, like, watch as I just, like, shook. Which, I mean, I still do a little bit. I'm just not doing it as badly. Also, yes, this whole line is necessary. This is the only way I can make this work. I can't wait until we get a Montezuma. Those things go like 22 miles an hour while pulling a car like this, so it'll be a lot better. I just gotta run like 3 or 4 different shipments like this is the whole thing. Because it's fun, special, and extra. So yeah. As you can see though, this is actually quite the good little track. It just kind of keeps going. Something I'm gonna want to tell you guys once you see it here, and once we round this corner. Yes, I know I'm using ridges right through here. And you'll see what I mean. They're not gonna load in very well. The whole reason why I'm doing that here is just like a personal flavor thing where it's like, oh, this is the yard. I need to make sure that people don't, while they're working over here, hauling logs out of the water and stuff, they don't, like, they don't walk up onto the line. So this is just like a safety precaution thing, basically. Think of it as like having like a fence or a border in between your local rail yard and where you, and I guess here. But yeah, no, this is basically just like a, hey, don't go up on here sort of thing. Because, you don't want people walking up onto your train tracks. That's how people die. Believe it or not, yeah, trains are scary, or can be anyway. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye bye.